Welcome back to Leafs fans in hostile lands. We are Leafs fans, and the hostile lands are Ottawa. And
It's very
Ottawa's...
hostile here right now.
Is it? Is it hostile? Oh,
it's
right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, this city is very hostile right now.
Until
yes. So
wow.
So we're told.
I didn't even make that connection. That's the
yeah.
Okay.
No, very hostile lands at the moment.
We're not talking about Sens fans.
No.
Okay. Let's get back to the
Some
Leafs.
of them might be.
Well, yeah, maybe. You never know. Some of them might be Leafs fans. Oh no!
I'm sure they are.
Yeah, we are kind of the lowest common denominators.
Should we go with stickers?
No.
We'll go with stickers, but we'll put "Don't listen." Don't listen to this. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, we're back. This is exciting. We have had some Leafs games, and one is currently on. So we are going to be a little behind on that one, but that's okay. Our expectation is, of course, the Leafs are going to go down 4-2 and come back with an absurd amount of goals in a short period of time and multiple empty net goals. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
That seems like the pattern. Yes.
Although it's going to be 5-4 tonight, and we're going to shit our pants even more.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I guess 7-4, 6-4. It'll be 5-4.
5-4.
Yeah.
I can't wait for 4-4. Wait, no.
That's called overtime, and which we haven't been bad at.
We've gone back in time. There's ties now.
And I'm
Speaking
feeling
of
pretty
ties,
good about our shootout percentage
NFL
right now.
overtime is so fucking weird. They gotta figure that out.
Someone tried to explain that to me. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't
That
seem
makes
fair.
about as much sense as cricket.
Yeah. Okay, so the Leafs, they've done okay this week. They did their usual up 3-1 against Anaheim, and we all went, that's my butt clenching.
Clench the butt. Yep.
But they came through. That's great. This time in Detroit, they went down 4-2, and we're like, guys, it's Detroit. I know they're up and coming, but they're not good. And they pulled it off. The only thing in the way was Tyler Bertuzzi with a couple of huge saves. And then
but I loved Tavares' goal there. That little cheeky flip over top of him. That was
that was cute.
Makes big save. Yeah, try saving
For the empty net.
that'll be an all-star game move. There we go. And then New Jersey last night for us, down 4-2. They come back in the third, 6-4. This is exciting. And you heard our predictions for tonight. Is this good? I'm
is
feeling this
feeling
playoff
good about
habits, or is this bad? Or Dan, what? Huh?
I mean, I'm feeling good about their... So we talked about this a few weeks ago, guys. We had seen the Leafs go down by... go up by multiple goals, and then they get they get completely sidelined by whichever team they're playing, and they sit on their heels and they don't do any more offense, and then the other team comes back and scores 6 goals. So we kept saying that... Yes! Sorry. We kept saying, as I said, there is a game live, or as Kyle said, there is a game live right now. So anyway, we wanted to say, we said it a few weeks ago that we want to see the Leafs do that. We want to see them go down. Well, we don't want to see them go down, but we want to see a comeback like that happen. And we've seen 2 in a row. I'm feeling decent about it right now. Whether it's playoff habits, though, what do you like? I'll defer to you guys first. What do you think?
Well, I think it seems like they can outscore their problems.
Well put.
I think that everything from the defensive blue line forward, I think they're really great at. I think everything behind that still, I think I said this before, is just kind of lacking. And with the goals going down early, like last night, Campbell did not look good.
Yeah.
Yes, the defenseman and the defensive system let him down on all those goals, but a couple of them kind of just went through him at the same time. So
I say one.
Yes,
one went through, but he made some hardcore saves as well.
What, 6?
Huh?
You only faced 9 shots and had 3.
Okay.
So
Well,
Campbell
could have
last
been
night?
worse. Yeah,
it could have been worse. Yeah, but still, he made 6 saves. Something's in Jack Campbell's head right now. I'm glad that Peter Mrazek was able to shut the door after that. But I think it's showing that the Leafs can outscore their problems, and if they can continue to score the way they're doing right now, hopefully it'll carry them for a little while until they can figure things out. The rest of this month looks like a crazy schedule, so we'll really see what the Leafs are going to be again, because they were looking great before Christmas, and then just they haven't played any games. I saw something today that in February they were 8-2-1, and they had a bad month. So
Yeah, really.
yeah. They can continue to score the way they are. I think they'll. I think that what we saw has been bad, but I think they have a way to at least get through it.
So the playoff habits, is this a good thing for the playoffs, that they're able to crawl back? Or again, do we prefer getting up early and work on keeping the lead as opposed to going down and crawling our way back? Dan, you were kind of touching on this. Do you want to expand?
Sure. I mean, I would obviously rather get a bunch of goals early, but if they get a bunch of goals and then slump back on their heels expecting the other team not to start the offense, then, that's not playoff habits. That's hoping that's kind of leveraging your high scoring offense and then letting what else happens in the game happen. And that is not working for this team right now. I'm worried about the defense for playoff habits. If, that's probably their biggest problem. Goaltending, goalies are hot and then they slump. Campbell's been hot all year pretty much, and all the second half of last year. So he can have a little bit of a slump. I'm not going to start worrying about him. He's a all world class goalie. Mrazek, I want to see him play more and see what happens with that. So, but right now, 4 goals against, that's not really playoff habits for goalies.
Craig, I got a question for you. These comebacks have come against Detroit, up-and-coming team. New Jersey, supposed to be an up-and-coming team, but bottom of the Metro.
Mm-hmm.
And Anaheim, they held on. They're second place in the Pacific, but the Pacific is weak right now. Do you think they could hold on to a lead or come back, better yet, come back against a team like Florida or Tampa?
It's really funny this season. Toronto seems to play better against good teams than they do bad teams. I feel like I think they played Tampa once and they played them really well.
Mhm.
I feel like they haven't played the hard teams yet. Yes, they lost to Colorado. They went up pretty hard. They went up the 4-1, then blew it. But Colorado also did not lose a game in regulation in January. So I think the real test is going to be at the end of the season when we have to face Tampa and Florida 5 times within a month. That's when we're really going to see how they can play against these teams. But it does seem like they think that they're the better team. And it's great. The Leafs for a long time haven't had that mentality. And now they have that mentality that they are the better team. And they just don't seem to give the other teams the credit that they deserve. That this is the NHL, that these teams can win any game, anytime. So I think it's bad to see that they're letting them, get these leads early. But I think that might be part of the reason, because they come out flat against those teams, but they come out a lot harder against good teams.
So, are you saying it's almost better that the first round they face Tampa or Florida instead of someone like Montreal or
Montreal?
Columbus?
Yeah, possibly.
Good luck with
I think that
Montreal.
might be possible. Look at 3 years ago, they played Boston and took them to 7. Toronto was the better team through most of that. And circumstances here and there, we lost Kadri. Again, if we didn't lose our big third line, which is what made that team really good, if we didn't lose that, we would have beat Boston in that series, hands down. But Jake Gardner forgot that he plays hockey, and it was just a fire sale in Game 7. But I think if they were to play a hard team in the first round, either they're going to play them really hard and they're going to win, or they're going to play them really hard and they're going to lose. In which case, I will feel better about losing to a team like Florida than I am going to be a team like Montreal or Columbus.
Fair.
Even Boston. Boston's actually coming up pretty quickly, so it's very possible that Toronto could jump up and play Boston 2-3.
I wouldn't mind playing Boston. Revenge would be nice.
I would love that. Get through the first round, then play Tampa or Florida. That'd be nice.
And can you imagine the confidence they'd have coming off of Boston, let's say 5-game series?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it'd just be lovely.
It'd be awesome.
And if not them, Leafs fans. in hostile lands.
The most hostile. Okay, Jack Campbell slumping a little bit. He's not getting many shots against, though. It's just many goals are going in, and he has a
And
poor...
they're high danger chances
Yeah.
that he does get.
Lots of high danger.
I
Danger.
didn't say it right either. Thank you.
Yeah. I think I just copied you.
Thank you.
Not great. And then he was pulled against New Jersey last night, 3 goals on 9 shots. One thing that I've noticed about him is his decisions behind the net. He's getting a little riskier, and it just it's another butt clinch. It's like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, please tend the goal. You're the goaltender. That's but it hasn't resulted in one of those really bad goals yet. He's in a slump. He was hot before. Do you expect this to continue, or do you think he's going to bounce back after the All-Star game? Correct.
Well, his slump really started basically exactly when he was named to the All-Star team. So I'm hoping that he just has something else in his head that's floating around that's distracting him. I'm hoping once this is over, he'll be back to, down to earth, head in the game, Jack Campbell, and goes back to playing the way he is. But I think it's really eerie. Just basically, as soon as we put out that tweet, congratulating them on being in the All-Star game, he has just been... No, I'm not going to say terrible, but he hasn't been Jack Campbell. He's
It's
been
our
Frederick
fault
Anderson
again?
of last year.
Why does it have
It's
to
always
be
our
our
fault.
That's the way it works, man.
Oh, my God.
Because we're Leafs fans and everything goes on our shoulders.
Dan, do you think Mrazek is going to help Campbell get out of this slump, or do you think Mrazek is going to put Campbell in more of a slump if he starts taking more of the net? Or do you think Campbell will like that his partner is doing better, or will feed off it?
I think he'll feed off it. I think Campbell's the kind of player. He's a team player. He's a positive guy anyway. I think he'd rather see the team win than have his slump contributing to a bunch of losses, whereas his counterpart can do really well. So I think if Mrazek's doing well in net, I see that as a plus for everyone. I would hope Campbell looks at it that way. He's had a rough last 10. Like, his save percentage is below 900 at this point over those last 10. Sorry, Kyle.
Fantasy.
I didn't mean to salt in the wound, but
Yeah.
if you look at his first 27 or however many games we've played, he was fantastic. And as I said earlier, I think he was hot for a while. He's having a little slump. I think Craig's nailed it kind of with the All-Star. It could get in your head. And but we'll see him come back. And I think this is only a good thing if you have 2 goalies that want to win and are winning on the same team. That's, the dream that the Leafs haven't had in a long time too. So I think it's only a good thing if Mrazek's doing well.
Hot and you're cold, yes.
Also, the Leafs haven't played games. We've been in lockdown here in Ontario, or essential lockdown. Like we've said, this affects people differently. So maybe this is affecting Jack Campbell just a little bit harder than a lot of others right now. So maybe that's happening. I don't know. There's a lot going on in the world, and it's very easy for you to get your head out of the game. And I'm hoping Jack Campbell is just gonna be able to have a chance to reset, maybe have some fun in Las Vegas, maybe go and gamble away his future earnings in that big contract next year.
That is going to be a huge bump for him. Oh, man. He's going to love going to the All-Star game. And I swear, the cameras are going to be on him the whole time. Huge smile. Going to be cracking jokes and stuff. Oh, I want to see those interviews. That's going to be awesome for him.
I think he might be what I'm looking forward to the most at the skills competition.
Yeah, for
just
sure.
him in the natural element of just having fun with a bunch of hockey players.
Oh, that'd be so much fun. That'd be good. But away from Campbell for a second, his 1B goalie or backup goalie, whichever you prefer, has been on a bit of a hot streak right now. A loss against the Coyotes, that wasn't his fault at all.
First
The
game back too, right?
Which what?
Wasn't that his
yes,
first
it
game
was.
back too?
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yep, in a while.
Yeah. He
But
gets
the
a
other
pass.
goalie, Velmeka, just brick wall for that game. Win against the New York Islanders, win against the Red Wings. Bad save percentage for that game, but whatever. And then he was really solid when he came in for Campbell in New Jersey last night, which is really good. And we asked you guys, has Mrazek settled down and shown that he can be a reliable goalie option for the Leafs? We had a couple responses on Instagram. Thank you so much for responding to Leafs Legion 16 and Buds All Day 34. Sounds like some Leaf accounts. Very nice, very nice. Both kind of confirming that we still haven't seen enough of Mrazek yet to really give him a full grade and to say, yeah, we're solid behind you. We feel really good. One of our comments says he was really good in Carolina, and I agree. I think I had him in fantasy as well when he was in Carolina, and he put up some good, solid numbers, and that's why they went to get him. Obviously, the injury trouble's been there for a couple years, and with the Leafs, but when he's in, he's really solid. He just needs to get those reps. So I do expect, and I agree with Dan. I hope Campbell feeds off of it, that they're kind of back and forth. 1A, 1B, switching every game, switching every other game. Maybe one goes on a hot streak for a bit, the other pops in. That's
3?
Oh my God.
3-0,
3-0.
gents.
Oh, boy.
3-0, gents. Matthews
We
just
just
potted
finished-
one, and then
Who just got that last one?
Kampf.
Just finished a
Nice.
segment on
Kampf.
how the Leafs
Sorry.
come back, and now they're up.
So this game will
Okay.
be a wash. They're going to lose 7-0 or 7-3
Great.
now. Yeah,
7-4.
yeah,
It'll be
7-4.
7-4.
Again, thank you to those who responded on Instagram. Gents, what do you think? Confidence in Mrazek? Need to see more of him? Or, he's been all right. Craig?
I think I agree with our commenters that we do need to see more of him. I think he looked great last night coming out in relief of Campbell.
Yeah.
I think he looked a little shaky in the game against Detroit. Now, that was the team, I believe they drafted him, and at least he started
Yes.
his career
Yep.
there in Detroit. So it's always, it's always something playing against your old team like that, especially the team that drafted you. So I'm glad that he stood the ground after those 4 goals. I was saying he kind of pulled the Grant Fuhr. It's like, okay, I allowed 4 goals, but I don't allow any more, and we're going to win this game. I think he's looked good, especially in his nice blue equipment. I really like the looks of that.
Oh, new helmet?
I-
So much better than that shiny thing he had before.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think we just need to see more of him. And as long as he can stay healthy, the Leafs have a lot of games coming up. Like they've got 16 games in 30 days or something this month, so he's going to have to play a lot of them. I'm going to say he'd play at least 8 to 10 of them and give Jack some rest, because he's going to need it coming into that stretch and going into the playoffs.
Now, on Saturday, Jeff Merrick on the 32 Thoughts little segment did mention that teams have checked in on Peter Mrazek to see if the Leafs want to trade for him, especially since Campbell has been so hot and is due a contract after this year. Dubas mentions that it's more of a summer conversation. Dan, do you agree with Dubas that this should be a summer thing, or should we cash in while Mrazek is healthy and potentially doing well to get what you mentioned, something on the defense to help us out?
I think we should do kind of as part of Craig's last comment and our Instagram responses. Let him play. Let him see how he does, and cash him in. If we're gonna cash him in when he's really worth something at the end of the year. Like, the hope is that the Leafs go deep. We see a bit of a playoff run. Why would we, now that we've got a good goalie tandem set up that are both healthy, why would we mess with that when we're trying to get our best, kind of playoff team set up at this point? So I think Dubas is right. Hold off till the summer. Not mix anything up right now. I think the team's pretty set.
Do you think, Craig, that Mrazek could affect the contract that Campbell gets if Mrazek does really well? Even if they were to split the net, does that affect Campbell's contract?
If they split it, no, I don't think so. I think Jack is still their guy. And I think that they will be looking at doing something possibly with Mrazek in the spring, especially. The thing is, going into the season, we didn't know if Jack was going to still be the guy. He had a hot, 20, 25 games last year, and he looked fantastic, but it was still kind of uncertain going into this season whether or not he's going to be able to hold on to that mantle. So the fact that he has played as great as he has kind of made that contract for Mrazek look funny. But if Campbell had come out and looked like a backup goalie, if he kind of looked like what he had been up to his career at this point, the signing for Mrazek might look really smart. Right now, it kind of looks like they're overpaying for a backup goalie, but they had to hedge their bets, and he was the best guy still left on the market. I think at this point, like Dubas says, moving Mrazek is going to be a summer issue. even if they don't get anything for him, if they can move, just shoot that $3.8 million out the window, and that can still help them re-sign Campbell. But if Campbell continues to play like he is right now, and Mrazek is lights out for the rest of the year, then yeah, that's definitely going to affect Campbell's contract going into next year. I think there's still a half a season. Yes, I think that Campbell deserves a $5 million contract, something in that area. But there is still half a season, and it's really hard to say. And we do have another goalie under contract for 2 more years that's making a decent amount of money.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to root against Campbell, but if he wants to continue cooling off and Mrazek wants to heat up, and that helps us keep both goalies, I am very happy with that. I'd be happy going into next year with a Campbell-Mrazek tandem if they want to split the net, like Dan said. That'd be fun.
I'd be very happy with it.
Just looking at the lineup for tonight, looks like we're going back to some familiar lines. Last podcast, we mentioned that there were some new look lines, that Matthews, Marner, and Nylander were all on different lines. Nylander going down to the third line with Kampf and Engvall. Was it Kampf? No, it was Kampf and Kerfoot.
Kerfoot. Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
And Marner playing with Tavares. They did that for the majority, if not all, of the Anaheim game, and they didn't, I don't think, had any 5-on-5 points. Maybe from the lower lines, but not from the top 2 lines. It was mostly on the power play. And then in Detroit, they started with the new look lines and abandoned them about halfway through the game after going down about 4-2. Went back to Matthews, Marner, Tavares, Nylander. I think Kerfoot was up there. Kerfoot and Mikheyev, I think, are interchangeable at this point because they've both been pretty hot. What did you guys think about those new look lines in action? We had our predictions before, but based on the results, how do you feel about those predictions, Dan?
So I was really excited for the lines going into those games. I mean, mathematically, they look great. On paper, it's balanced lines. It should be a lot of firepower. And we did get a lot of firepower, but there was no coordination between the lines. And I think that's, you're changing up lines mid-season. You maybe get 1 or 2 practices with those lines playing. It's not really lending to spectacular options as an outcome. So I will be the first to admit I was definitely wrong on that. I thought it would be a lot of fun to watch. They looked clunky. Nylander didn't look like he was comfortable on the line. So I'm glad that Keefe went back to the normal lines for the first New Jersey game.
I think you're right, Dan. Mathematically, that did look great. Unfortunately, there is no mathematics in chemistry. Now, I didn't take chemistry, and I just assume.
What?
I assume
Sorry.
I'm right. There is no math in chemistry, so I'm just gonna say that right now. It just seemed like those guys had no chemistry. To take Nylander away from either Matthews or Tavares, who he plays so well with,
Yeah.
I think he just couldn't get anything going with Kampf. Now, the Tavares and Kerfoot looked good. Kerfoot looked pretty good over these last few games. I think he didn't look out of place on that third line. I think just the style that they play just wasn't meshing. Kasha looked okay on that top line. Again, he's a hardworking guy, but taking away that chemistry with Kampf, I think the biggest thing was they could play well maybe if they kept those lines for a long period of time, but it did not seem like the right time to be juggling.
Yeah, I wish they did better, because then you have more tools when you move
Yeah.
forward, as opposed to these are the best lines, and that's it. And if they fail, you're going to lose the game, as opposed to, okay, we got these lines. Okay, they're not working. Let's switch to these ones. Okay, they're not working. Come back to these ones. Move things around. It's really unfortunate that they weren't able to try it for a longer period of time and win. It sucks.
Sorry, the tools that they do have are working right now. So I guess why try to switch around your bandsaw for a skill saw when you don't need to, when it's working for the job that you're trying to do? I think they should just keep going with the lines that are working, I guess, right now with those, the Bunting, Matthews, Marner. And if it stops working, then tinker. But, they don't mess around with the perfection line in Boston until they need to.
Well, it wasn't working there for a while, right? Because they were getting their leads and then losing.
Blowing them, yeah.
Well, the new lines weren't. Oh, I guess nothing's working. it fire them all to the sun. Let's get a new team.
If you're having issues like that, it makes sense to try something new, switch things up and see if it works. I mean, Keefe had been talking about doing that since Christmas, getting that balanced kind of setup on the 3 lines. It's a good time of year to experiment. They're doing decently well in the standings. They don't really have that many things to worry about. Goaltending's, maybe not where they want it, but it's
They're
coming
healthy.
back up. So yeah, they're healthy. Like, try right now before 5 more players go down or something.
Yeah.
Before you're forced to do those lines.
Yeah,
That's
that's
true.
the thing. I'm worried about the playoffs for that. I want them to try a couple more things so that they have those options if someone goes down, or even worse, if other teams just watch the tape and they're like, well, this is what Matthews and Marner are going to do. This is what Tavares and Nylander are going to do. That's how we shut you down, Columbus and Montreal. Like, we got to have something else in the tank so that in case things go awry or the team is just demolishing us because they know you too well, you got to switch it up, I think. So I hope they try it again.
I've got a quick galaxy brain thing here. Now, they were talking about it not being a demotion of any of the players on these last set of lines. Now, I wonder, shifting it around like this and moving Kerfoot down to that 3rd line, not saying it's a demotion, but I wonder if it was a test for the other guys to see how they can do in that top 6 with Nylander and Kerfoot down. Because I'm wondering, maybe they are thinking about trading or moving Kerfoot on in some sort of package deal for a defenseman. It is very possible he still is our biggest trade chip, and especially with the way that Mikheyev has been playing. So I'm wondering if they were trying, Kasha up in the top 6 and seeing what he can do. And because I think I don't know, I might be thinking too much on that, but by moving Kerfoot down to that 3rd line, it just gives those other guys, an extra shot and see what they can do.
I could see Dubas and Keefe kind of having it out in Dubas's ugly office. Just like, come on, man, just try it for me. Just try it. Keefe's like, fuck you. Fine. Fuck. And then he tries it, and then they go down and like, okay, we're pulling the plug on this. That's for goddamn sure. And then they go win games. So.
Because it's always a good idea when your friend says, hey, dude, just try it. You just want to try it. Come on, just try it. You're going to like it. I promise.
It always leads to good things.
Yeah, it usually leads to, waking up in a ditch somewhere along the side of the highway and
with no pants.
Oh, you've had that happen too, eh?
Oh, is that just me? Sorry.
That's a great place to end our conversation about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's check in on the standings as the Leafs, one of the last teams, have finally gone halfway through the season. Many teams are 46 games in or even more. Oh, God. Or is 46 the most?
I think 46.
Oh, friggin' Anaheim's 48 games in already. My God.
Wow.
Looking at the standings, any surprises that you were seeing so far? Any locks that you're like, nope, this is how it's going to be? Or any predictions you think someone's going to come up the standings? Let's start with the Atlantic, because again, we've talked about the Leafs a lot. If I just go to the wild card, if the playoffs started today, Florida would be top, Tampa and Leafs would go against each other, and Boston is in the 2nd wild card spot. So it would be Florida against Boston. Dan, do you think those are locks, or do you think some might fall out, or do you think other teams in the Atlantic might go up?
I mean, in the Atlantic right now, I think the top 3 are pretty set. I don't see those moving too much. I think Panthers, Lightning, and Leafs, that's the 3 that we'll see when the season ends. I think Boston's probably got the wild card spot too. So, no, I think it looks pretty good, actually. That's kind of where I thought it would be. I didn't think Detroit would be that much higher. They didn't have a great season last year either. I thought the Canadians would be higher, but we've talked about that before. So I'm not that surprised where we are.
Greg, any surprises? You think it's locked?
No, I think the top 4 in the Atlantic is locked. Now, Toronto is in 2nd place right now in points percentage. So they would have, based on that, they would have home advantage over Tampa. Now, they're really also not that far behind Florida. So Florida they're playing really well, but it's not a lock for that top position. It's very possible that the Leafs can still take 1st overall, in which case they would have to play Boston. So where's the fun in that? Or I guess they could also play Washington. Cool. That's also great.
Yeah.
Why not?
Florida. My God, Florida's so hot right now. And former Leaf Mason Marchment traded for Denny Mulligan. Yay. Marchment gets the franchise tying 6 points in one game. My God. That third line of Reinhart, Lundell, and Marchment was on fire last night. I didn't watch the game, but I just saw the points rack up, and I don't have any of them, unfortunately. I have all the other Panthers, though.
Do you know which player he tied for the record?
I don't.
Neither do I. I'm just going to assume that it was Bure because he's the only good player that they've had over their entire history of being in that city until this year.
I was going to say Luongo. I figured he had 6 points. Like he tried to carry that team, I think. Metropolitan, let's go there. Carolina in first so far, and I'm not going by points percentage. I'm just going by points. Carolina in first, Rangers in second, Pittsburgh, then Washington. Then there is a solid 16-point gap to Columbus and the rest from there. Craig, 4 teams locked. Do you expect any to come through, or are you seeing these teams shift maybe, or is this how it's going to be?
Well, if you go by points percentage, Pittsburgh is over New York right now. Now they're only a point apart, but oh geez, that's a lot. Oh, they have games in hand. No, I think Carolina's got the lock. Pittsburgh's been playing so well, it's very possible they could pass them as well. But the top 3 I'd say at this point are locked with Carolina, Pittsburgh, and New York in some order, and I think Washington's got that 4th spot. I can't imagine they're going to get up any farther than that. Washington's riding on a bit of a hot start. Ovi was playing great, but they're 4-5-1 in their last 10. So I'm thinking the top 3, and then Washington's going to have that wild card.
Yeah, I think you're right, Craig. I mean, I think we might see Pittsburgh and the Rangers flip a bit. Pittsburgh's lost 3 in a row, and they're still 1 point behind them. So once they get their groove back, I think they might come second in the division. But top 4 pretty much locked, and then that 16-point chasm is going to be hard to jump.
Okay, let's go to the West. I agree, by the way. And this segment is becoming a little less interesting than I expected, but whatever. Going to the West.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, they're like teams are doing good,
season.
and then their team's doing really badly.
Yeah.
Halfway through the season, you wouldn't expect it to be this much of a lock.
Yeah. The West is a lot more interesting, I would say. And let's start with the Central, probably the least interesting. Colorado finally showing their might and basically locking
understatement.
the top, I would say. Nashville, they have been lights out this year. Really, really good. But Minnesota coming up in third right now. Definitely points percentage above them because they've only played 40 games. And St. Louis still hanging on. But Dallas and Winnipeg, I am really surprised how far they have fallen. Dallas being going to the Stanley Cup final 2 years ago. And Winnipeg seen as maybe second, third best Canadian team sometimes. Really falling off. 43 points in 41 games. Not doing so great these last 10 either. 3-5 and 2. Do you think Dallas or Winnipeg are able to break into the top 4, Dan, or we're just gonna have some shuffling up top?
So I'm not too sure about Dallas. To be fair, I don't follow them that closely. From looking at their stats, it's going to be a struggle, but they're an old team. They might be able to do it. Winnipeg, though, is surprising to me because they were a great team last year. And I'm wondering if going back to the division, kind of, playing the American teams again, not playing your same familiar Canadian teams, has thrown them a bit. And they're having, Colorado is obviously taking them to the cleaners and stuff. So I think they're struggling in this division now. And I would like to see them do a little bit better, but unfortunately they're not.
I think it's pretty much locked in that division. Sorry, I was just looking. I was trying to figure out if Montreal was mathematically eliminated yet. If they were to win every single game for the rest of the season, they would make it to 99 points, and which would probably not make it into the playoffs in the East. So I'm just gonna put that there. I think that Dallas may still have a shot to make that final playoff spot. Now they are 10 points behind. They do have 3 games in hand, and they've been playing pretty well. But with the way that the rest of the teams in that division are playing, I don't think so. Winnipeg, I think they're a lost cause at this point.
Oh, that's so too bad.
I think possibly Paul Maurice jumped ship at a great time. Kind of maybe saw which way this team was heading, but I think they're a lost cause at this point.
Yeah, too bad for Winnipeg. They really had a solid window there.
Yeah.
I think they went to the conference final once, and yeah, I think it might be closing. Unfortunate again because Hellebuck is still very, very good. Just hasn't been producing this year. So
No.
maybe a lock there. Dallas, Danny, you're right. They're old. I think it might be time for them to start selling and doing a retool, like a Nashville retool or a Blues little retool, Central Division stuff. But I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off.
Yeah, it's not looking good. And Craig, just so you know, Montreal's got less than 1% chance of making the playoffs now.
I was sure it was going to be 0.
No, it's not. It's not 0.
It's
never
not.
0.
It's above 0. Yes. I think with the market in Dallas, I think they need to maintain a good enough team to be able to get anyone into the stands. So I don't think that they can do a full rebuild. I think you're right. They might be able to do a retool. I see them more as the Ken Holland Red Wings. And they're just going to constantly try to bring in someone new. They're going to try to plug holes. And I think they're just going to stay middling, possibly for the next God knows how long. I hope that's not the case. I do like to see Dallas play well. They're a pretty well-run team, but I'm just afraid that they're going to try to maintain being good because they do have a good goalie. They've got a great defensive team, but they are a little bit old up front, and I'm afraid that they're just going to try to retool and stay kind of middling for a long time.
I agree. Okay, the most interesting division for sure because their highest team in points, the Vegas Golden Knights, maybe not percentage, but points is 55, which is below the first wild card spot in the Atlantic. So that's fun. And that's not based on playing less games either. It's just the Pacific is not so great this year. Vegas on top, Ducks in second or tied for second, but points percentage not so much. LA Kings still holding on. And then Calgary, Edmonton, San Jose, they keep going up and down. Vancouver, they were on a hot streak for a while, but they're technically second last. And then the Kraken have fallen off the ship. Dan, how do you feel about those Kraken? Woo!
I'm a little bit sad.
That was a good bet there.
Yeah,
isn't it a good thing when the Kraken fall off the ship?
That's a good thing for everyone else.
Well, that's fair.
It's not good
Yeah.
for them.
Okay.
I wanted the Kraken to have a Vegas-like start to their
so
franchise.
much more
So
fun.
I was really pulling for that. Obviously, it has gone the exact opposite way. So
Yeah.
I won't be getting my division victory this year as I hoped, but that's too bad.
So I'll ask this instead of, do you think the top 4 are locked or whatever? I want you to tell me who the top 4 is going to be. And maybe this will be a good question to put out on social media as well and get some comments. Who do you think the top 4 are going to be at the end? And even looking at the wild card, Dallas is closing in on that second wild card spot. The top 4 might not even get in. It might just be top 3 for this division. But we'll start with Craig. Who do you think
That's
the
a good
top
point.
4 are going to be for the Pacific Division?
I think that Vegas is going to be number 1. They still have Jack Eichel to come back. And at that point, I think they're just going to skyrocket forward. So I think they're going to lock that first place.
That's why I got Robin Lehner. Yes.
Smart. Smart. I think LA is going to stay in a playoff spot. I think Calgary will stay in the playoff spot. Markstrom's just too good right now for them to miss the playoffs. In that 4th spot, geez, I'll have to say Anaheim because I think they're going to be the underdog Cinderella story of this season, which means that those Edmonton Oilers, I think, are going to miss.
Those Evander Kane Oilers are going to miss.
Yeah, really.
Woo. Dan, do you agree with Craig's picks there?
Yeah, I do. I think it could flip-flop between Calgary and the Oilers as we get closer to the playoffs, but I agree Markstrom's hot, and I think they can pull it off.
Now, Koskinen has been playing well since he got tossed under the bus.
Yeah.
So that is helping. They are getting saves in Edmonton, and that I think is going to be the biggest thing going forward. If they can continue to get saves, they're going to win some games. They will probably make at least some sort of playoff spot. But if Koskinen reverts back to a Koskinen of 2 weeks ago, then yeah, they're screwed. Doesn't matter having Evander Kane, they're not going to outscore those problems.
I simply to put this energy into the world, I'm going to say Vegas first. Second and third, I don't care about the order. Flames and Oilers. Give me
You just want that Battle of Alberta.
I want it.
You want blood. That's what you want.
Yeah.
Chaos
I
and
want
blood.
Lucic against Kane. Oh
boy.
give me that fight. I want Markstrom against Koskinen. I want that fight.
It would be Markstrom and Smith for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Smith would be the one to be fighting in there.
That's
He'd be
true.
off the bench.
Well, I think Koskinen's got some snarl now, especially after, like you said, being thrown under the bus. I think he might go for that. But and then one of the California teams. Unfortunately, the Canucks. I wanted to give it to you, but I think you're just too far behind now. Boudreau did his best. Okay, last segment. We got just enough time. All-Star Weekend is coming up. This looks to be maybe a little more fun. You never know with All-Star Weekend because it's kind of gooky and hooky and weird and I don't know.
And speaking of being passed out in a ditch at the end of the weekend, Vegas.
Vegas. That might make it more fun. The fact that it is in Vegas, there's going to be lots of star power. There's going to be lots of lights, lots of flash. And 2 new events are being put in, if you haven't already heard. They're going to be shooting in the fountain or to the fountain. Craig, what is it? What was it?
I think it's through the fountain. I think
Through a fountain.
They'll be in the fountain in boats or something and having to fire through the fountain into targets.
Okay. So that has potential to be better than what happened in St. Louis when they were shooting from really, really high up and they brought every Kachuk, all the cousin Kachucks and the grandfather Kachucks and whatever, and nobody got any points. It was just like, okay, here we go again. Woo! And I think Patrick Kane won.
Didn't they have Mother Kachucker there too?
Exactly.
Yeah.
A Kachucker. So that could be fun. And then they got shooting 21 and 22. They're basically playing blackjack. They're shooting at targets on the Vegas Strip, which is really cool. Again, lights and flash and stuff.
I love it.
Who can get to 21 sooner without going bust. I think that'll be fun. I think it'll be tough. I would like that one to be pre-recorded. I would like it if it wasn't live.
Yeah.
Like if you do it live.
It looks like it's just a big wall that they can't really miss. So it doesn't seem like they're shooting at giant targets way away. I think it's looks like it's almost gonna be the accuracy competition, but with cards.
Yeah, that could be fun. That could be fun.
Even if those 2 competitions aren't fun, it's gonna be entertaining, and not even just for us, but just for people walking by the Vegas Strip.
Oh,
That's the biggest thing. Like, you don't even need to get people inside to watch this. People just walking by are going to be watching this, and you might just get some new fans just by that. I think in terms of all the things that the league has done in any of the All-Star games, anything like that, I think this is one of the smartest ideas they've done, is just putting it outside in Vegas for anybody to go and watch.
I agree. Breakaway Challenge is back. 2016, I believe it was the last time I was there. And they're bringing in Trevor Zegras. He was not nominated to the team, but they're like, this guy's doing some really cool moves. Let's get him in there. And I think that's a really smart move, and I hope it's a sign of what's to come, that it doesn't need to be one from every team. You can throw in some extra stars, whatever. If you want to come, join us. But
can you remind me what the Breakaway Challenge is?
It's who can do the coolest thing, and the goalie doesn't matter.
Okay.
Right.
And I assume this one is judged by John Tortorella, right? He's the official judge of the All-Star game.
I freaking hope not. Oh my god!
I freaking hope so. That would be hilarious.
That'd be pretty
this
funny.
isn't good for isn't good for the game. So 0 points for
look at all
Zegras.
these trick shots out here in the ice. I'm just afraid that it's going to take away from the fundamentals in this game.
They wouldn't be able to broadcast it due to language.
And Dan, by language, you mean that we don't speak Neanderthal?
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
Yes.
That's well put.
Ovechkin going down the ice. Oh, Sidney Crosby has come to fight Ovechkin before shooting. This is good for the game. This is good. More of this during the shootout. More fighting during the shootout. I think that would work.
Yes.
So those are the 3 newish ones. Our favorites are there as well. Hardest shot, fastest skater, and save streak and accurate shot. So for our Let's Make a Bet this week, we're going to do some predictions on who is going to win this each event. We don't know who's going to be participating in each one, but we could probably guess a little bit. So let's start with hardest shot. Hardest shot, Dan, who do you think? Don't forget that McKinnon is not in anymore. And
Yeah, so
Oh, shoot. I have
I'm
to change one of my answers then.
gonna go with an old favorite of Ovechkin. He's maybe not as young as he was when he won, but shouldn't be that much difference. And I'm also like I'm looking at the lineups for these, and I'm not all the time familiar with the Western Division, so then we might see somebody from the West come up that's got a harder shot. But I think Ovechkin has a good shot at it.
Craig?
All right. I'm going to say Victor Hedman. With the
Yeah,
size that he has,
call.
I'm looking at the defensemen that are there, and I think he's gonna have a good shot. There's no Chara this year, and no Shea Weber, so I think it's really anybody's at this point.
And I'm gonna say Yossi. He was added
Okay,
after
okay.
McKinnon went out. He's a really, really hot defenseman. Very attractive. I mean, really, really good at shooting, whatnot. And he is not one of the two players that you guys mentioned.
Pretty much.
Okay, fastest skater. I feel like we may all pick the same person, but you never know. You never know. Craig?
Oh, wait. We said fastest skater?
Fastest, yeah.
Sorry.
Vasilevsky.
See, I'm going to go with Dylan Larkin on this one. He does
he going? I didn't know
technically
that.
hold. Yep, he's on the roster there, at least the one I saw.
Yep. He
Yeah,
is.
no,
fun.
he's on it.
Yeah, he technically holds the record for fastest skater in the league right now. So I'm gonna go with that.
I'm gonna go McDavid. I'm sorry. Dan?
Smart.
I'm going to say McDavid too, but I just looked up Larkin's speed, like the time he did it in, and it's impressive. 12.89 seconds.
Now
to
there is a caveat to
McDavid's
that.
13.3. What?
He got to start from the blue line, and they started the timer at the red line, at the center line.
Oh, so we got a running
With
start?
with
Oh,
McDavid,
then-
he had to start at the red line to the red line.
Right. It's go to stop, right? Like you don't get
Yeah.
a run at it.
Well, they changed
Okay,
it.
sorry. Yeah.
They changed it that year. They gave him that run, and they counted it, so he's in the books.
Oh, I'm
I agree.
still
It's
going to go with
McDavid's.
McDavid.
It's definitely
on it.
McDavid's, but Larkin holds the record.
I think he's got something to prove. So, yeah. Okay, save. What is it? Save streak. I guess I get to go first for this one. I'm gonna say Oh my God, all these goalies are so good. My gut says Saros,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna say Campbell because I love him so much. Jack Campbell, Nurse. Craig.
As a pessimistic Leafs fan, I'm going to say it's going to be Frederik Andersen.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll be
That's
Frederik
hilarious.
Andersen.
of course.
So, I mean, I was actually also going to say Anderson, although I want it so desperately to be Jack Campbell. I think Anderson's going to do everything he can to make Leafs fans sad this year.
You're going Anderson as well?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want to take the really smart bet and take Vasi?
I was gonna say what?
Well, yeah,
Why
but
have we
like-
not pitched
Oh,
this
man.
human yet.
Okay, you guys. Okay, so Kyle take Campbell, Craig, you'll take Anderson, I'll take Vasilevsky. That's fair.
Just to make sure we actually know what we're talking about in hockey, because we all should have picked him probably.
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Okay.
realistically.
Accurate shot. This is probably the one that's the most up in the air, and also we again do not know who's going to be on this one. Dan, you want to start us off with accurate shot?
Well, I mean, assuming he's on, I would love to see Matthews win that.
Nice.
He's even watching him in the last 4 games, he can really put that puck into a 4x4 centimeter spot when he needs to. So I think I would love to see him win that.
Correct.
I've got 3 names, but 4 names. My first one I had was Matthews as well.
Mhm.
I think if he's in it, I think he would do really well. I was also thinking Leon Draisaitl
Yes.
could do pretty well. But I'm going to go with one different. I'm going to say something Kyle said earlier was Roman Yossi. I think it's usually a defenseman, very often a defenseman that can win this one. So I'm going to go with Yossi for accuracy.
Cool. I'm gonna go Draisaitl.
Smart move.
That one's hard. That one's very, kind of voodoo luck based. Unless you're Ray
Yes.
Bourque, you can go 3 for 3 and then 17 shots at the last one.
Man, I feel like so many people could win that one. Like
Yeah,
Huberdeau. Okay, Huberdeau Matthews would be my top for Atlantic. Aho and maybe Hughes or Kreider's on a tear right now. DeBrincat, Kaprizov, obviously Makar. If McKinnon was in it, I probably would have picked him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, yeah, I'd say the Pacific, maybe just Draisaitl. Because McDavid probably won't be in that one. Okay, I think that's it for that. Speaking of let's make a bet, Craig won so hard last week. Oh my God.
Two
it's just-
Hatties.
Like embarrassingly bad.
It was just Matthews, so much Matthews, and
Bunting.
I didn't see the
Didn't ha-
numbers.
oh,
What were
yeah,
the numbers?
Bunting,
Do
right.
you have them?
Hat trick for Bunting, his first one.
I gave
Second.
up after.
No, it's actually a second
Oh, was
career
it?
hat
I'm
trick.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Craig, I gave up after a while.
Oh, did you? Okay.
It's like Craig won. It's obvious with all the Bunting and the Matthews. Like it didn't matter who was
Yeah,
on the right
that's
for
fair.
these couple games that we were betting.
No. And Marner is now on a 7-game scoring streak.
Yeah,
So
Jesus.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Scoring or points?
scoring. Goal
Really?
streak.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, he is.
He just he
Um,
scored. It's 4-0 right now.
Last thing, are you guys planning
He
on
scored
watching? Oh wait, I forgot. You got to plug this one in. Last prediction for the bet: which division is going to win the All-Star game?
Oh yeah.
Forgot about that one. Which division is going to win the All-Star game? This one is Craig going first.
Oh, it's the Atlantic.
Okay, why?
Well, look at the standings. Look at the guys. It's going to be the Atlantic. With Matthews and Vassy,
It's
it's
just like that. That's
Nothing's
it.
gonna
It's
go
just
in.
Like, what?
You
And-
don't think
and Jack.
McDavid's going to be enough to bring it up?
again. He's gonna be like with his team in Edmonton. He's gonna be the only one doing anything. It's not gonna be enough.
Okay. I am going to say, and for some reason I got rid of my thing here. It's always the team that you'd least expect to win.
The Pacific.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say the Pacific, and it's just because it never matters, but I think Pacific. Dan, who do you think?
I'm going to go with Atlantic also.
Okay,
I think Craig's right with the skaters, and I think the goalies are going to stand on their heads.
fun.
Last but not least, not for the bet, who's going to be the MVP of the All-Star game?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, who's going to win the car?
The car is going to go to Jordan Kyrou,
Okay,
just
Oh, yeah?
because.
just cause.
Anybody
Nah,
else?
This one's Matthews.
Okay.
He's going to put in like 14 goals.
Ooh, I like that. I'm going to go with Matthews too. Screw it. I'm sorry. It'd be so good.
So much Matthews. Okay. Awesome. Anything else on All-Star Game or the Leafs or the fact that they are winning 4-0 after the first? Woo! Let's hope that energy keeps going. All
Yeah,
good?
absolutely.
And-
Let's see this hot start and the hot finish.
And for all of you that have now seen the end of the game, just hope that our positive vibes have gone out into the universe and have kept this 4-0 lead intact.
And if not, it's Craig's fault.
It's all my fault. You can find me at call me 555-2871.
It's all your fault, Jafar. That's a deep dive. If you know that reference, please comment and subscribe, and I will send you $50. Okay. Thank you for listening to Leafs Fan of Hostile Lands. We have so much fun. This is the best. You guys are the best, and the listeners are the best, and the Leafs are the best. Go Leafs, go!
Go Leafs, go!
Go Leafs, go!